In a glittering London ballroom ablaze with crystal chandeliers and the swirl of silk gowns, Clara Montgomery lingered against the far wall, half shielded by a towering display of ice sculptures that gleamed like frozen sentinels under candlelight. Laughter bubbled in waves from the dance floor, where young heiresses and dapper gentlemen vied for places on dance cards, the air thick with perfume, polished boots, and the strains of a waltz. At 22, the American dollar princess, her new money fortune a ticket to this rigid Victorian world, Clara had mastered the art of invisibility, her high-necked lace gown and powder concealing the finger-shaped bruises from Lord Percival Vane's latest rage. Clara's hidden pain. Before we continue, if this story has already drawn you in, I invite you to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing. It allows these quiet Victorian tales to reach others who value depth and timeless storytelling. And if you're willing, do leave a comment telling us where you're listening from. It is always a pleasure to see how far these stories travel. Do try not to look so frostbitten, Clara, murmured her companion, a distant cousin in a rustle of taffeta, glancing at the revelers. One might think you belong with the sculptures rather than the society. Clara summoned a practiced smile, tugging her silk glove higher over her wrist. The ice has the virtue of being unmarred, she replied softly, her American accent a faint undercurrent in the room's clipped tones. Across the floor, her father's sharp gaze skimmed past her, alighting instead on a cluster of titled lords, his face alight with mercenary hope. "I wish Papa saw you as more than a bargaining chip," the cousin whispered. Clara's smile thinned. Fairness had fled her life seasons ago, bartered away with her hand to Vane, a charming devil in public, a monster behind closed doors, leaving her the silent heiress who mended hems, masked welts, and never drew scandal. A hush rippled through the crowd, the footman at the grand staircase snapped to attention. "His Grace, Silas Thorne, Duke of Blackwood," he intoned. The music faltered, candles seeming to flicker colder in their sconces as the atmosphere thickened like winter fog. Whispers chased him, the cold Duke, whose Arctic detachment chilled drawing rooms, men paling at his name, widows currying favor, mothers plotting alliances. Tall in stark black tailcoat and white cravat, his sharp features and pale eyes brooked no approach, guests parted instinctively as he descended. "Why here, of all places?" her cousin breathed. Clara's fingers tightened on her fan. "Perhaps he favors ballrooms turned glacier." The cousin stifled a gasp, but Clara's gaze held steady, watching their host bustle forward in a deep curtsy. The Duke vanished into the throng. Clara told herself it meant nothing. Men like Silas Thorne never saw women like her, purchased brides with hidden scars. They saw untouched prizes, ripe for the highest bid. Clara's heart stuttered as Silas Thorne materialized before her amid the ballroom swirl, his pale eyes locking onto the betraying glimpse of bruise beneath her slipping glove. Without preamble, he turned to Lord Vane, who simpered nearby, and declared in a voice like cracking ice, "I have purchased your contract on Miss Montgomery. Name your price." Gasps rippled through the ton, Vane's charm cracked into fury, but the Duke's gaze silenced protest. "A business transaction," Silas added coolly, as if trading horses, "not a bride." Coins changed hands discreetly, papers exchanged under the chandelier's glare. Vane spat venomous whispers of retribution, but Silas merely inclined his head. "She departs with me. Tonight." Clara, trembling yet unseen in the chaos, felt the ton stares like frostbite, scandal's chill breath. For the first time, her chains felt loosed, if only by another's ruthless ledger. The Blackwood fortress loomed against the dawn sky, a monolithic shadow of gargoyles and iron gates, swallowing Clara's carriage whole. No bustling servants greeted her, only echoes in vast halls of polished marble and stern portraits. Silas led her through silence unbroken save for distant clocks tolling like heartbeats. "This is your sanctuary," he said flatly, assigning a suite of Arctic blues and heavy drapes. No questions, no pity, merely efficiency. In the quiet, Clara traced her fading bruises, the absence of vain snarls a revelation. Here, coldness was not cruelty but a balm, walls unyielding against the world's tempests. She sank into a chair by the fireless grate, breathing deeply. For once, peace cloaked her like untouched snow. Over supper in a dining hall vast as a cathedral, Silas's fork paused. "You wonder at the frost," he murmured, eyes distant. Clara nodded, emboldened by the stillness. He spoke then of his youth, a noble father who wielded fists like scepters, a mother broken and vanished. "I learned detachment as armor," he confessed, voice unyielding. "The Cold Duke fears nothing because nothing reaches within." His scars, hidden deeper than hers, mirrored her shame. No tears, no embrace, just truth laid bare like frost on glass. Clara saw not monster, but survivor. In his unflinching gaze, her own wounds thawed fractionally, shared silence warmer than any fire. If this tale has stirred your curiosity, a simple like and subscription is most appreciated. And if you wish, share in the comments where you are listening from. Now, let us return to the story. In the shadowed library, Silas placed a parchment before her. "Terms," he stated. "I grant protection, legal sovereignty over your dowry, and voice in my affairs. In exchange, manage the charities, infuse the human side my ledgers lack. No poetry, no protestations of love, a contract of equals." Clara scanned the clauses, her hand steady as she signed. "Why me?" she ventured. "You flinch with honesty," he replied. "Vain crushes, I elevate." Power flowed from ink, not force, her first untainted choice. As wax sealed the pact, Clara felt not owned, but armed. Respect, crisp as winter air, fortified her resolve. Dawn brought the first letter, slipped under her door like a serpent's tongue, vain script curling with malice. "You are mine, whore, the Duke's coin buys no soul." Clara's pulse raced, old terrors clawing back. More arrived, promises of ruin, vivid recollections of her cries, threats to her father's ruin. She burned them in the grate, but echoes lingered, sleep fractured by nightmares of his grip. Silas noted her pallor, wordless, offering a locked box for correspondence. "He preys on fear," he said coolly. "Deny him purchase." In the fortress's hush, Clara steeled against the monster's distant howl. Clara upended the manor's frost with American fire, warm suppers shared in the servants' hall, laughter echoing where silence reigned. She bartered with tradesmen for fresh linens, taught cooks Yankee pies bursting with spice. Victorian rigidity cracked, a maid dared a jest, footmen smiled. Silas observed from doorways, his chill softening to curiosity. Revolutions, he queried dryly as children from the charities invaded for a fete, their glee thawing stone floors. Clara grinned. Warmth breeds loyalty. Traditions bent, not broke, her vitality seeping into Blackwood's veins like spring melt. Vein struck with a forgery, a doctored deed proclaiming Clara eternally bound, thrust before a magistrate amid whispers of scandal. "She is chattel," he crowed. Silas, unperturbed, unveiled ledgers of Vane's debts, alibis etched in ruthless precision, witnesses, timestamps, irrefutable. No dramatics, facts dismantled the lie like ice carving from a glacier. The magistrate blanched, document invalidated. Vane slunk away, impotent. Silas turned to Clara, untouched by triumph. Protected, not possessed. She stood tall, no prize but partner in victory's chill clarity. In the dawnlit study, Silas slid a ticket across the desk, passage to America, funds attached. Leave, he said evenly. No chains here. Return to your world, free. Clara stared, Vane's ownership a ghost banished by this act. No pleas, no possession, proof his coldness cradled choice. Heart aching with unforeseen warmth, she weighed oceans against the man who'd armored her soul. Freedom tasted bittersweet, for once, she yearned to stay, not from fear, but fire kindled within. Clara tore the ticket, letting shreds drift like snow. I choose you, she whispered, meeting Silas's gaze, no longer arctic, but alight. The cold Duke thawed under her touch, frost yielding to flame. From convenience's contract to heart's dominion, she claimed her voice, her place. Vane's shadow fled, in Blackwood's embrace, victim became victor, warming the fortress eternal. If this story has captured your interest, please like the video and subscribe for more.